Football fans across the UK, welcome to another Sports On. We'll be covering the Super 16 and quarter-final. To discuss this with us, I don't have to introduce him again. Welcome back, Hasnat Bhai. It's great to have you back.
Right, thank you for having me back on a great show.
Let's start from France-Argentina. France has never managed to win against Argentina in a World Cup match.
It's a good stat to go by because it was a great game. No doubt it was a great game. And I know, going back to my predictions and all of those that joined in on Sports On and put your predictions, many thanks. And nobody got the exact score right, but a lot of you had a similar view of me and your result was right that France got through. But yes, Roy, going to that game, France-Argentina, I did say France were going to win it because they were technically set up right. Obviously, Argentina, well, you know what, sometimes some teams win big competitions when they haven't got anything apart from just good fortune and good luck. And we thought that might be with Argentina. When we saw them at the closing stages of the group games, and how that last minute sort of win got them through.
Myself was like, wow.
Yeah, but they made it through. Whoa, was it going to be their year? Is it going to be Messi's year? But I think the one thing I've loved about this World Cup, it's no longer about luck. There's a reality check.
Yeah.
And France-Argentina, it was a reality check. What we saw, and I know from the very first episode about the FIFA World Cup, we're talking about Mbappe. I tried to not talk about him last week because I thought, you know what, he's been given enough attention, but we have to go back to Mbappe.
He became the first teenager to score at least twice in a World Cup tournament since Michael won in 1998.
So it should be. I mean, we saw Michael Owen burst into the scene for England. And this is what France are seeing. The difference being Michael Owen burst onto the scene, and with respect to the club of Liverpool, at a time when the Premiership was just getting stronger. Because the Premiership became strong at the time of Gerrard, Lampard and Beckham.
And the millennium time.
Michael Owen went across to Real Madrid and then he started declining then. Mbappe, on the other hand, he's coming to a PSG side where they are booming. Right. He's only going to get better. We could see what the difference with France. Generally well organised, set up perfect for their main man, Mbappe. But, they had the right guard in there. So, the Griezmann was there. He was doing his part, making a nuisance of Argentina. But, yes, do we give all the praise to Argentina or do we call... do we give all the praise to France or call Argentina a mess? Argentina were a mess. They scored the 3 goals and they were scored, Di Maria's goal was a brilliant goal. Mercado scored a lovely goal, and then at the end, Aguero did what he did for Manchester City in 2012 and tried to score a last-minute winner, but he only got that 1 goal in. They were never going to get through, but France were way too strong for them, and Argentina really needed reality. They need to go back and check. And Sampaoli's management, people are criticising it. Some people are saying, undercut, it's going to be praised, but no, that's not Argentina. That's not how Argentina played. They deserved to go out. I'm sorry to those of you that are Argentina fans, but Argentina need to set themselves back up. They need to get it right in 4 years' time. They've got the players. They've got to get the gameplay right. So, but I want to quickly move on to the other games because Uruguay-Portugal. So this was one of the 3 results I got wrong. Well done to those of you, actually, a lot of you that put your posts in and put your tweets in. You did get it right, 2-1. It's quite an average score, but it wasn't an average game. That's
an average game, yeah.
No, because what we saw, we saw Cavani have a very poor group stage. He wasn't great, and he came out in this game.
Well, he's a player of big games.
He is.
That's what.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we know from his time in PSG, he does get frustrated. We know that he had his fallout with Neymar in the PSG team. So we know that he likes to. But that's the thing about him, that his character comes out. You can see that for the big occasions, for the big players, he's coming out. Again, I'm doing the mistake of actually focusing on one player, but because Suarez played a role in it. But let's look at the team in general. Uruguay were just that one step stronger than Portugal. And what
went wrong for Ronaldo? Well, CR7, everyone is expecting CR7's going to do something for his team.
To be honest, a lot of people know I'm a big fan of Ronaldo, and I've always chosen Ronaldo because I believe he's not a magical footballer. He wasn't gifted. He's a hard graft, hard-working individual that's made himself the machine he is today. Uruguay set it up right. Yes, they did concede that goal which Pepe scored.
The oldest goal scorer for Portugal.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Actually, that's a really good stat, actually. Yeah, and Pepe, it took the old guard, which Uruguay weren't prepared for. So Uruguay set up right. They knew that Quaresma would be brought in later, and they shut off Quaresma. Right. They knew that William Carvalho down the centre was doing all the running, was doing the machine work, sort of the work that you see Matic do at Man United. You see Kante do at Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, you see Fernandinho do at Manchester City. Uruguay knew, and they set it up right. Uruguay technically beat Portugal, and that's why Uruguay got through 2-1. Again, very strong team. It's because they're set up right. And, you know, that was a great game there. If I could smoothly move on to the Spain Russia game.
The biggest shock, I think.
It was a big shock. I mean, again, a lot of you actually went nowhere near what I was saying, because my prediction was it would be a 1-1 draw and go to penalties. So I got my score prediction right. My result was wrong on the other, because I said I think Spain will win the penalty. But actually, I should have learned from myself, because I said that Russia would always have the 12th man, and Russian fans are diehard. They're great. They have a lot of crazy chanting and a lot of they can influence the teams big time. Yeah, absolutely. And I said that's what will help them get the 1-0 with Russia, which it did. That stayed and helped them win the penalties, and that was a big thing. And you know what, for Spain, a lot of people said, Spain didn't get it set up right. Fernando Hierro and the change of management just before the World Cup didn't get it right. But to be honest, they didn't do much wrong. They were up against a home team. We've even seen this when Barcelona goes to play against another team in another country. In smaller teams, they still feel like the home team. But when they've come up against big teams, they become the shy away team, and that's exactly what happened there. Spain became the shy team because the Russian team were at the home team. And that's all I can say, really, because, I mean, Russia, they won through passion.
Coming to Croatia, Denmark. Croatia have qualified for the first World Cup quarterfinal since 1998 again.
And 98, I love recalling 98 because
was there.
Davor Šuka, do you know what, their names have gone right out of my head, but I used to know that squad so well. We loved that Croatian team, and you know, then Davor Šuka came over to Arsenal. This Croatia team, they don't have that same likeable aspect of 98, but they've got some quality in them. And look, the difference between Croatia and Denmark for me that day was Rakitic. And oh my gosh, Modric missing that penalty in the last minute. You know what, you saw that. This is why I'm saying this World Cup is not about luck.
But he made it at the penalty shootout.
Well, he did. But you see, normally when we see this in Premiership and when we see this in Champions League, normally a team that has that bad luck goes on to lose it, and you think, oh, he's missed a penalty, they're going to go to penalties as a shootout and they're going to lose. But this World Cup hasn't been about that. It has been hard graft and hard working, not about luck. So even though Modric missed that, you know, Croatia hung on and they took out a very stubborn Denmark team. Moving, you know, very quickly to the other half of Bangladesh. So yeah, Argentina. The other half of Bangladesh, Brazil. So on that game, there's not much for us to say. I did predict Brazil will go through. I thought Mexico would score, which is why my prediction was 2-1. It ended up being 2-0, but I always knew Brazil were going to score a minimum of two goals. It took them until the last minute. My favourite game was France-Argentina, but the most interesting game for me by far was Belgium-Japan. The reason I want to talk about this team, because remember my last prediction, I predicted Belgium would win 3-0 against Japan, and I criticised Japan really badly because of the way they finished the last game. They wanted to go through on yellow cards. I wasn't happy with that. As football fans, I know none of us will be happy with that. However, I look back at it now, and Japan did what they did for the strength that they had. And that's exactly what they did against Belgium. They really dug deep and sat back with Belgium, made Belgium's life hell.
Even in the second half, Japan played attacking instead of playing defensive after getting 2 goals in 7-8 minutes. That's
what killed them. Let's be honest. If they had remained that stubborn, caught on a break, both goals were very good, by the way. First goal, fair enough. Jan Vertonghen, he should not, as a defender of Premiership calibre, playing Champions League football, he made a big mistake. Japan through there. The second goal by Inui was brilliant. So, you know, Japan did that, but then Belgium are one of the favourites, and they proved in that game why they're favourites. We say it in the Premiership, when you're having a bad game and you grind out victories, that's why Man City won the title last year. Chelsea won it the year before. Man United had those long periods of winning it.
England, Colombia.
Wow. England, Colombia. Well, so my prediction was that England would win 3-0. That was just me being passionate, not me actually thinking sensibly. And, you know, we saw, if anyone's sensible, predicted, which some people did predict it would go to penalties. You saw exactly that happen, because the key thing for Colombia, everything's fallen in England's favour, by the way, but the key thing for Colombia was that they always rely on that that four-man team of theirs, which includes Falcao, Quinton, and Cuadrado and James. But with James being missing, that piece was not there. Obviously, they still did. They still ground out that goal in the last minute.
We have also said Colombia playing very rough in the field.
They were. They were extremely rough, and it's down to the referee to maybe control the players. But some people say, well, the referee may not control the players. He let the players go, but he controlled the game, and it's true because we actually had quite a good flowing game. England had a nice flowing game. If anything, England deserved that penalty all day long because Colombia were fouling and fouling, and they were going to get caught out, which they did, and they got punished for that by England, right? But they ground their goal out. England need to learn from that as well because that goal we shouldn't have let happen. But it was. You know what? So far, if I'm looking at the England team, and again, as you know, I want England to win this World Cup. When I look through the qualifiers, England had an easy qualifier. Everyone said England's easy qualifier.
Never got tested before.
They never got tested. We had, we went in with blinding points. We qualified because it was an easy qualifier. Then the draw was done. We more or less had an easy draw where Belgium was just our biggest test, but it was Belgium's B versus our B. And Belgium's B is still really good, as we know.
Any words about Henderson's penalty missing?
Look, it happens to anyone. In my lifetime, who have I seen? I've seen Stuart Pearce miss in 1990. I saw Gaza miss in 1990. Let's go to 96. You know what? I can tell you all of them. That's how much they're in my memory. It's hard. And even for us fans, we feel for the player. We never tell him. We never hate him for it. Henderson missing that penalty. Honestly, I feel for him. Gareth Southgate missed it in 90 or 96. I tell you what, I was only 14 then, but man, I was saddened by that. So it happens. Thankful for Henderson, we went through. Harry Kane on 6 goals. I'm looking forward to this, but we have seen this before, by the way. Alan Shearer won the Golden Boot in Euro 96. We didn't win the competition. Gary Lineker won it in 1986, but we didn't win the competition. So the Golden Boot, great for Harry Kane. If we're going by omens, not great for England. But he's the main man for England. But look, England went through as a team. England didn't go through because of Harry Kane. Like other teams may turn around and say, oh, Portugal won because of Cristiano Ronaldo, or they get to the final because of Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. England, it did go through as a team. And look, Dele Alli, Raheem Sterling, these are the players that are performing for us. Ashley Young, he's come in and, he's having a mediocre season for United. He's had a great one. For England, so the players are there and they can come in, and the defence is good. With that defence that we have at the moment, it's got experience and it's still young as well. So the whole team is pushing us through, and we're going to win this World Cup as a team.
Hassan bhai, you normally do perfect predictions all over. You want to do some predictions for the quarterfinals?
Okay.
4 games.
My predictions then. Yeah. Sports on Facebook followers, shall I say? I challenge you all to predictions for the quarterfinals of World Cup FIFA 2018 Russia. My prediction for Sweden-England. I have to quickly say this. My good friend Marcus, your mum is Swedish and your dad is English. I'm so sorry to say I'm choosing your father over your mother. England will have to beat Sweden. I think it will be a 0-0. We will win our second penalty shootout. So come on, England. 0-0 against Sweden, but we will go to penalties and we'll take them out. Or possibly we'll nip it in extra time. 1-0. Let's see. Finally, oh my gosh, Russia, Croatia. Everybody knows how much of a fan I am of Modric as a Real Madrid player, but I'm actually going to say Russia is going to knock out Croatia 1-0. I think they'll score and they'll use that 12th man, which is their fan, to defend, while Rakitic and Modric and Mandzukic keep battering, but they won't get through. So Russia to go through. There are my predictions. Do you think you can better them? Do you think you can handle them? Bring it on. Go to Sports on Facebook and put your predictions in the comments. Who knows, you might be our guest for the next week and get interviewed by Roy.
Thank you once again, Hassan bhai.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
On this note, we're going to take a short break. See you in a bit.